There's a new number one, but could they beat the old number one? One of the things we're going to talk about here on Three Pointers. Jason Horowitz, glad to be with you here on CBSSports.com. It's our weekly installment of Parrish's Three Pointers, and of course that means all the comments and all the discussion with our CBSSports.com college basketball columnist Gary Parrish. And Gary, let's start with the old number one, North Carolina. You've had a couple days here to think about the loss to Boston College this weekend. When you think about it, is it Maryland from last year being just one game, or did they actually show, they being the Eagles, the rest of the ACC, how to beat North Carolina?
I think it's just one game, but it is cause for concern. UNC should not be losing a home game to a team like Boston College. I bet Pitt doesn't lose one like that at home this season. Neither will Duke or Texas or Oklahoma or UCLA. It's not what teams do, lose at home to obviously inferior opponents. So it should not have happened, and it showed that UNC is vulnerable. But again, I think it's just one game, and I suspect North Carolina will still be the favorite in the NCAA tournament in March.
Well, you take a look at that, and of course that means you still think they're the favorite in the ACC. But when you take a look at the new number one, Pittsburgh, first time ever in school history, pair those two teams together, Pitt, North Carolina. Do you think Pitt could actually beat UNC?
Well, if Boston College can beat them, I don't see why Pitt couldn't. The Panthers have a rare combination and experience. They have Levance Fields, DeJuan Blair, Sam Young. Very good team, and they deserve this ranking based on their body of work being superior to North Carolina. But make no mistake, if the two play tomorrow on a neutral court, I'd take the Tar Heels. Again, Pitt deserves the number one ranking based on the resume. But I suspect UNC is still the best team in the country. It's a little like what I said about Florida 2 years ago when the Gators were going for their second title. I said from start to finish, I did not care what happened between November and March. That as long as Florida was healthy, I'd take the Gators to win the title when the tournament started. Same thing goes here. Regardless of what happens between now and March, if Carolina slips up again somewhere down the line, doesn't matter to me. When the tournament starts, as long as everybody's healthy, I'll take North Carolina to win it.
Oh, of course, they have to keep everybody healthy until March, and we'll see what happens in the ACC schedule. Now, you talked about Pitt's resume, Gary. That, of course, includes a win over Georgetown on Saturday, and a handedly, they handed the Hoyas a spanking, really, I mean, on Georgetown's home floor. But when you talk about Georgetown in the midst of the schedule that they're currently in, which started at UConn, then home for Pitt, and now Notre Dame on Monday, another loss that they had on the road, and then what's coming up, what do you really learn about this team? Because even, Gary, if you have to win the national title, you're still aren't going to play a schedule like they're in the midst of right now.
It's brutal. I mean, to get UConn, Pitt, and Notre Dame in a span of 8 days, two of which were on the road, is insane. 97% of the teams in the country would go 0-3 in that stretch. So while people will look at Georgetown and note that the Hoyas have lost 2 of 3, they even dropped 2 spots in the coaches' poll, I believe, from 8 to 10. I don't think it's a big deal. A 1-2 record in that stretch isn't bad. But the one thing that, if you're going to play this kind of schedule, which you have to if you're in the Big East this year, the one thing that's crucial is for John Thompson III to get through to his players that, look, you're going to take losses. You're not playing in the Missouri Valley Conference. You're not playing in the Mountain West Conference. You're not playing in Conference USA. You're going to take losses. Sometimes you're going to take them back-to-back. Stay confident, stay focused, and try to win the games at home that you can. If you can't keep that mindset, that's when you can be affected. But from a analyst standpoint or a fan standpoint, you can't be discouraged when a team in the Big East is going to string losses, because top 10 teams are going to string losses in that league.
Yeah, absolutely. The Big East with 9 teams this week's AP Top 25. That's a record. Let's talk about your Top 25 and 1. Your 25 and 1 this week, Gary, you have 6 teams from the Big Ten. When you add Minnesota, Illinois, and Michigan to what was already there from last year, is the Big Ten the most improved conference this season?
No question. The league is second in the RPI, and it's probably going to finish right around there. Actually, I have 6 teams: Michigan State, Purdue, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, and Illinois, ranked in the top 25 and 1. If the tournament started today, the league would get those 6 bids at least, and probably a 7th one with Ohio State. It's been a great start for the Big Ten, and I'm surprised. I mean, we knew Michigan State would be good. We thought Purdue would be good. But the idea that Michigan and Illinois, particularly those 2 schools, are right here banging on the door, it's off to a great start. And now they're just going to feed off each other. Every good win for somebody is going to, every loss for somebody is going to be a good win for somebody else, and vice versa. So now they'll just feed off each other and roll into the league. I think you're looking at, roll into the tournament. I think you're looking at a 6-bid league at least.
And Penn State has been a little bit of a surprise as well. They're sneaking up on some people. We'll see if they can continue that in Big Ten play. Gary Parrish, thank you very much, sir. We'll talk to you real soon.
Thanks, Jason. Talk to you soon.
All right, folks, for more from Gary, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com throughout the week. For GP, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.